Greetings, my excellent friend.
You have nothing to fear.
We come in peace.
We're friends. We're not like the others, man.
From the M Cave Studios, it's the Drunk Space Bros podcast.
Yeah. Welcome to Proxima, Akto. Today, tomorrow, and yesterday.
Hello and welcome to the first episode of Proxima, Akto, Today, Tomorrow, and Yesterday. My name is Korrr and I will be your host and tour guide through the history of our solar system. The real history recorded by the people who made the history and watched it happen. First and foremost, what you humans call the solar system, or Sol, is named Proxima Akto, or mostly Proxima. We have all agreed to a less structured format for the Drunk Space Bros podcast and variety show. Teaching Humanz is not exactly in the curriculum at Proxima Advanced School. I have it pretty easy, to be quite honest. I am just telling you facts and the truth. Some will be similar to the stories you know and what your experts think they know. A lot of what you have been taught is propaganda, left behind by certain parties trying to not go down in history as galactic douchebags, which they most certainly were and are. Some are downright lies, misinformation, and misdirection. By many, many parties and for many, many reasons. Far too many to think about now. Our quantum translator is doing a decent job of translating our words and terms, thoughts and ideas into things you will all, or hopefully most of you Humanz, can understand. Once again, it works great for my scripts. Not so much for Jagi and Canny, but what they came up with is going to be awesome. For our first season, I have broken down the history of Proxima Akto from the I-Find-You probe's original scans way back 187 million human years ago to the present day into 5 eras or chapters. They will all be included in my upcoming book, Proxima Akto for Humanz. The eras of Proxima Akta history are the times before 187 million years ago to 2.5 million years ago. The era of corporate exploitation, 2.5 million years ago till 450,000 years ago. The end times, 450,000 years ago till approximately 5,000 years ago. Human quarantine zone, approximately 5,000 years ago till 1947. Humans go boom 1947 to today. Each chapter will have some videos explaining what happened, some more than others right now. In Season 2, we will cover other topics. I will give you a more in-depth overview of each era. Right after a word from today's sponsor. We know you love cattle entrails. Who doesn't? We also know fresh ones are hard to come by. Does the thought of vat-ground fuel depot entrails turn your stomach? Are you tired of expensive imported farm-raised entrails with bland flavor and questionable color? Do you fancy yourself an entrail connoisseur? Do you appreciate an aged 4-earthy or New Mexican bull tongue? Do you enjoy the savory taste of fresh pilkoji in your mouth? Are you educated in the subtle differences between Rocky Mountain and Pampas Plain pilkoji? If this sounds like you, it's our great pleasure to tell you about today's sponsor, Bo and Vin Okrapligio's Bovine Excision Products, the quick entrail subscription crate service. We have been using B&V for a few years now, and all of us have loved every tasty morsel. Harvested nightly, processed and delivered right to your door by Quantum Courier, so you know it's as fresh a kill as you can get. Without getting blood on your hands or all over your ship, they offer a variety of customizable plans for all tastes and budgets. The first 100 new customers who use our code NathansRulesDSBMI at checkout get a free Lips and Assholes sampler pack featuring Oscar Mayer, Ballpark, SK, and Hebrew National hot dogs. Considered a delicacy by many humans. Welcome back, let's get started. The times before, backwater to Boomtown, 187 million years ago to 2.5 million years ago. There is a lot of history in the times before, so we have a few sections. If Indu is a very interesting entity. I'll talk about all the weird, as you humans would say, conspiracy theories floating around. The initial probes indicated a very resource-rich system. No signs of current inhabitants by sentient species. Signs of ancient dead civilizations on the 2nd and 4th planets. Kind of in the middle of nowhere. Answering the call, if Indu sent out messages to the folks it thought would be best suited for what the system needed. I told you it's interesting, and they came. The best visualization I can give you Humanz is Firefly. Great show, by the way. River is a beast, a very cute beast. The 3 families of MPA. Our families came with the first wave of settlers. In this section, we will each give you a brief history of our families, who we are, what we do, and why we love this system so much. Government, the necessary evil. At first, everyone pretty much kept to themselves. No big troubles besides the ongoing Capocampo and Rugnuculo feud. We are all in luck. Xili is Capelcampo. She is going to talk with her family and clan leaders about doing a documentary about Capelcampo. You humans might know it as Phobos. If the Capelcampo elders agree, this is a very, very big deal. You see, nobody goes to Capelcampo or Rugnukulo. Nobody, ever. Your Russians sent a probe or two, if I remember correctly. How did that go for them? Xili was there and has some video. I've seen footage. As bad as the feud got, they kept to themselves and didn't bother anyone else. The system did have a problem with ice pirates raiding the outer system's mining operations. The inner system had become infested with belt pirates. Mostly the NPC Alliance, but a few more organized factions. Something had to be done. They needed some sort of system government, but that is what they came here to avoid. How can you create a government that can't be corrupted by the greed of small-minded creatures? That won't change willy-nilly when the solar wind blows. Discussions were had. Civil discourse became uncivil discourse. It was, as your human media like to say, a quagmire, and not giggity one. Then one day, a representative from Metatron System Administration and Security arrived in system, having been sent by If-Indu to help with the problem at hand. We will go into more details in the video for this section. After much deliberation, an agreement was reached and Proxima became Proxima Akto. Metatron used their parent corp connections to get the Akto designation, which somehow means mostly harmless, move along, nothing to see here, and it worked. For a while at least. Industrial power system, re-industrialization of Korrr by the Grand Acerbo Society. Zagan Heavy Industries takes over Fecadomio, opening their first facility outside of New Eden. Opiring the NATA Consortium is formed by local mid-sized business concerns in reaction to ZHI. Muchimus and Sumfar Galactic Industries, NSG, sets up shop on Pledge Pangera. Glacija de Gaso Frozen Gas Company begins operations on Mabidilobo. A source of liquid beryllium is found in the asteroid belt. Third rock from the sun. Nothing going on, too tectonic and not very friendly. This would be the early Jurassic onwards. You should all know how your planet was behaving way back then. After things settled down, drifting continent-wise. This was going to change. An excessively powerful energy grid suddenly appeared, flowing in, through, and around Arying Zoo. A system conference was called, and it was decided to keep it a secret from the rest of the galaxy. They knew if the fact got out, it would be the end of their quiet little home they had worked so hard to build. It worked for 2.5 million Earth years, until the new Hyperspace Expressway added an exit to MPA and the scanning equipment noticed something different about Arying Zoo. The era of corporate exploitation, Boomtown to Babylon 2.5 million years ago to 450,000 years ago, Aslantis TSRI, Mimu and Pyramid Energy arrive in system, targeting Arying Zoo and its powerful energy grid, specifically. Having been a no-go zone for the most part by the locals, it was unclaimed and thus free for the taking by the outside corporations. The locals were not very happy at first, but the prosperity that came with them changed their attitude. For the most part, Aslantis Timeshare Resorts Intergalactic sets up a series of resorts around the globe. The divine congregation of spiritual pilgrims of the singularly defined path to multiversal enlightenment and development, Proxima chapter, we are going to stick with Mu, opened up the Arying Zoo Center for Spiritual Growth and Development, with eventually a dozen or more facilities centered around what you call the Pacific Ocean. Pyramid Energy Transgalactic opened a chain of spacecraft, refueling stations to service all the ships exiting off the brand new Hyperspace Expressway, as well as quickie marts and cheap hotels. Elsewhere in the system, Zagan Heavy Industries becomes largest manufacturer in system. Liberian Manata Consortium wins exclusive contract to build the new Atlantis resorts on Arying Zoo. Korrr becomes the science and technology utopia of the Kavina Quadrant. Pledge Pangera expands beyond its capabilities and eventually chokes on its own exhaust. I have a special treat for this section. A friend from Keltiumzir Ios has sent in some old family vacation footage. His ancient ancestors visiting MPA way back in the era of corporate exploitation. It's hard to believe how much things have changed in such a short period of time. I am sure it is entirely unbelievable for you humans, being your species' entire existence. I think you will like it. It may fill in some gaps in your species' collective memory. The end times, something wicked this way comes. 450,000 years ago to approximately 5,000 years ago, the Anunnaki show up. I'm sure you know the story. Needed gold to save their planet. Made you humans to be slaves after some labor issues. That's pretty much true. But they didn't tell you they needed the gold, or any money they could get. They hired some connected Korrian contractors to build the machines to protect their planet, then couldn't pay up. Now they have problems with the Korrian Builders Syndicate. They come to Aring Zoo and make a gigantic mess of everything. At first, they stayed on their own turf. But after their labor issues resulting in the Ajigi being dispatched to parley with the KBS and come back with an extension. Or don't come back at all, add in a brand new, untrained labor force. Infighting among middle management and his insecurity about how he got his position as underboss, Enlil was getting desperate. And desperate people make stupid decisions. They move in on Atlantis territory in North Africa, then get a little too close to Pyramid Energy's hydrofusion facility and the Machu Picchu Spiritual Growth and Development Center. The entire Anunnaki versus Everyone War story was done in great detail in the hit TV series, Anunnaki Nights, but then you humans haven't seen or even heard of that, maybe someday. We will go deeper into this more in Season 2. This escalated fast. Add in the Ajigi's failed insurrection on Collier. Things did not look good. Right at the height of the war, when it looked like nothing could stop the destruction of 2 planets and catastrophic damage to the system could not be avoided. Just moments before the Cromwell contingent was activated, a miracle occurred. The human quarantine zone, warning, does not play well with others. Approximately 5,000 years ago to 1947. For this extremely complex and complicated topic, we reached out to the guy himself, Tim from HR. And shockingly, he got back to us. For the first time in any verse, timeline, reality, pulse, or aspect of any of these, Tim from HR has agreed to come on our show and do a deep dive into the human quarantine zone, the complete who, what, where, when, why, how, in solidarity with your new American regime. Full disclosure, we are even building a brand new studio just for this momentous occasion. The TLDR is, the grown-ups, see also Parent Corp, had to separate the kids and clean up their mess. Tim from HR established the HQZ and left the heads of the 3 families in charge. Humanz go boom, the human ant farm, more like sea monkeys if you ask me, 1947 to modern day. You humans go nuclear, which attracts the attention of multiple galactic government 4-letter agencies. The heads of the 3 families were killed in suspicious crash in New Mexico. Yes, that is correct. Our dads all died in the same accident. We will cover all of this in later seasons. It's important for you Humanz to know how we got here, so you may have the smallest chance of understanding what is going on now. Letting you human in on the events of the past is one thing. The past can't be changed. But we need to be careful with what we tell you about current events. Even with our Parent Corp connections, it's best not to poke the bear when he is busy paying attention to something else. That is what I will be covering on MPA today, tomorrow, and yesterday, for what we are calling our first season, a season in the broadest sense of the term. We had decided on what we wanted to tell you well before we figured out how to tell you. Once we get all of our videos out, we are going to string them all together in what we have titled the Great Big, historically accurate, chaotically theoretical, slightly rhetorical, painstakingly done, in simple terms, and with lots of pictures, explanation of life, the verses and everything else. Thank you for sitting through yet another long video. There is just so much I am excited to talk to you about. Maybe I do want to be the alien Joe Rogan. There are worse things to be. Thank you again and look for more videos coming soon.
Welcome to Proxima Akto. Today, tomorrow, and yesterday.